Again tomorrow for the last two open practices, and then we'll get into our preparation for Louisville in the Russell Athletic Bowl. Obviously, I missed an opportunity to visit since the bowl announcement, but clearly we're grateful for the opportunity to go to the Russell Athletic Bowl, to play in Orlando, and to let our kids experience the sights and the attractions in the community in Orlando, and obviously get a great opponent in Louisville as well. So the kids are excited. I think they're grateful. They've been through a lot the last 2 years. They have not been able to have this opportunity. I thought, after we talked last weekend, that I think that resonated in the way they practiced. And hopefully we'll see that again here tonight and tomorrow. But they're practicing with a purpose. They're excited, and clearly they know they have a really tough opponent coming up. So any questions that you have, I know you guys want to get going. So any questions you have, we'll answer for you.
Al, I know last week the focus of the practices was getting some of the younger guys reps. Who did you see as you watched the film and got some evaluation of who stepped up?
Yeah, I think, just jumping around, I think Taylor Gabois and Alex Gall were two guys that really benefited from that. I think both of those guys stepped up and showed that they're capable, and so we're going to continue to push them and get them ready here for the bowl game. Those are two guys that can't come to mind clearly. I thought, I told Kirby again today, I thought Kirby really grew up last week and played at low pad level and ran and took charge of it. He needs to do that. In Jimmy's absence, he needs to be able to do that. And if he keeps practicing like he did last week, then clearly he'll carve out more playing time. I thought Jamal Carter really grew up and answered the call a little bit for us. And there's others guys. I mean, I can go all night. I mean, there was a lot of guys that really competed, and you got that sense when you're out there that it meant something to them. And clearly now, with a lot of the veterans coming back, there'll be more competition, and we're still going to see a lot of those young guys. But this time, we'll be, against guys like Alan Hearns and Stephen Morris and Brandon Linder, which should make the competition all the more better.
Al, could you assess the play this year of your corners and safeties, and then the challenge of facing Bridgewater, obviously?
Well, I mean, we got to play really well, and obviously this is a very talented young man, and he's got great command of the offense. And I don't want to intimate to you at all that I've studied everything I can about them. We're going to do that at about 11 a.m. on Sunday. We're going to do that. We're going to take 2 whole days to do that. But clearly, we see enough Thursday night games or Friday night games that the young man is talented. Got speed and a great core of receivers. Knows how to distribute the football. Doesn't make many mistakes with the football. Can move in the pocket. So it's going to be a great challenge for our corners and safeties. And again, those guys are going to, they're going to be challenged again tonight to improve and to compete and to get better. But certainly, we're not where we want to be in every facet of the game, not just corners and safeties.
With the safety play, maybe we didn't see as much physicality. It's one stretch in the season. Are you pleased with where Rayshon and Dion, AJ, that group is?
Yeah, I think your comment is fair. We need to continue to be more physical and more consistently physical. Dion, clearly he's been hampered all year, and hopefully we'll see. Every time we're hoping that we're going to see Dion. He came up, with a hamstring recently, and before that, his groin. So hopefully we'll see him get healthy here and finish off the season really well. And with Rayshon, it's continuing just to trust the process and be consistent, and not have your highs be high and your lows be low. Just continue to be consistent, and we got to get that kind of play out of him. There's no question about it.
Now, what have you seen? We've seen Stacy, progress all year. What have you seen, out of these practice sessions? How has he improved?
Yeah, I just think I think Alan has been a great mentor to him. I don't think there's any question about it. He's learned how to prepare. Again, I keep saying to you guys that his talent is really good. He's got excellent talent, but what's allowing him to play at a high level and have so many explosive plays is. He's trustworthy, so we give him a lot. We give him a lot of plays, and it's really a great example of, hey, if you want to increase your role in the game, master the ones that we give you. So he's done that. And it hasn't always been easy for him, as you guys recall. He didn't start off the season the way he wanted to, let alone the way we wanted to. And he fought through it, continued to get better every day. But this is a young man that really can be a great model for a lot of young players out there in terms of how to prepare, how to study, how to articulate that. Mike James talked to our team in the spring when he got back from the combine about being able to regurgitate it, being able to articulate it. And this young man, no matter what we ask him, he's very loud and proud in the meetings and tells James or tells Brennan or tells the offense exactly what he's going to do on a play with conviction. And that leads to a lot of trust. And there's a preparation element there that exceeds his age.
To stay on the receivers, Philip Dorsett,
Yeah.
how has he been looking? And I know that he didn't practice last weekend. Where does he stand?
Yeah, I'm expecting him to be healthy. I really am. Chrissy, I'm as anxious as you. I've been out all week. I think we got a green light with him, so we should see Philip back to normal, which clearly has not been the case since the North Carolina game for us. So we would love to have Philip back, and because he was really having a heck of a year when he got hurt.
James said that he was kind of dealing with almost like the mental issue of the recovering, and it was a mental process. Have you seen any of that, or?
Well, I think he's had a great attitude. He fought and got really close, and really we thought we would have a chance with him in the Virginia game, and it wasn't quite right. It really, there was a couple plays in there in Pitt where he got in, but not to have the impact on the game that he wanted to have on the game. And clearly, on offense, we were doing well in that game, so it got to the point where, do we really need to, put him in, so I know he's anxious to get back out there, and hopefully we'll see him out there today.
Obviously, recruiting has been such a focus,
Yeah.
and I know it's something that you're excited about recruiting maybe a little more this year than usual.
Yeah.
Can you quantify kind of how it's been easier? I know it's never easy, but it's been
Yeah.
a little easier to recruit this year.
I don't know if it's ever easy, but what energizes your staff when you go out? What motivates your staff and what drains it? I mean, clearly you can understand that almost every home, every high school we left, we just left answering 20 questions about something we didn't have any answers about. And we did that for 28 months. And it's very difficult to recruit under those circumstances. We didn't have the opportunity that we have tonight. We'll have, 30, 40 juniors out there from South Florida. We haven't had that opportunity. We haven't been provided that opportunity. So it feels totally different. Again, you're not going to get them all. There's other good opportunities for kids and all that, but at the end of the day, we feel like we're on a level playing field for the first time. It's unfortunate it comes at the tail end of our third class, but nonetheless, gives us a chance to finish this one and then obviously start the 15 class with a fresh slate. So there's been a lot of positive energy out there, and just excited to move forward. And, really, you can feel the difference.
Now, one thing you hear from a lot of people who talk about the UM program is you need maybe dominant defensive tackles
Sure.
to get back to the dominant level of the program of years ago. How difficult has that been? I mean, these guys don't grow on trees, obviously, but how tough is it to find those dominant interior lines?
Again, when I answer the question, it's hard to answer it without it reflecting on players that are currently in the program. I think the way to answer the question is to very simply say, I don't know what head coach and what defensive coordinator doesn't want dominant, defensive players. So again, we got to continue to, develop, the young man that we have. But I don't think it's a secret that we need help on the defensive line. I don't think it's a secret that we need help on the front seven. I think everybody understands that, and I think it's reflected in our numbers of guys that we have committed at those positions. But again, we were not, we were not given the opportunity to recruit the type of full class that we wanted to recruit last year. And to be quite honest, so we're making up for it right now. We were looking at 16 commitments going into signing day a year ago, and really, if you're on a regular year, 2 schedule, that number, would have probably been 23, 24, 25. And so here we are, the following year trying to make up for that. So it's been a challenge. There was a lot of places that we would have loved to have fortified our our positions a year ago. We weren't given that opportunity. We gave up a lot so that we could move forward now. So, let's move forward. You guys are living in the past. You're killing me.
Now, you obviously can allocate the 9 scholarship losses any way you want over the next 3 years. Have you and Blake discussed that yet? Do you know in your mind what you want to do?
I do. I do. I don't know if I want to share that at this time, just because we're working through it. But again, it seems very simple because now they quantified it for us. They made it a static number, and you can deal with a static number. Last year, I had no idea how many I was going to have. You're talking before signing day, after signing day, right up until we kicked off the ball. So now I feel like we have an idea. Now we can plot a course. And clearly, I don't recommend anybody running their business that way. It's hard.
Al, the new financial aid agreements have signed a few kids. Have you found that, has it allowed you to contact them more? There's much made of unlimited contact?
Yeah.
Just that it's recruiting is so frenzied that you don't have time to...
I think, they're trying to, this may be an interesting tidbit for you guys. They're trying to pull it back so that the dead period overrides the financial aid agreement. So I think that's going to be in place so that you can't continue these contacts because it really undermines the rule. They extended the debt period, Matt, and then they also, are not permitting us to be at All-Star games this year. And if they did not amend this ruling, then you would have coaches at All-Star games and coaches recruiting in the dead period. So I think they're going to do that. I think that's going to be made official if it has not already. And I think we're going to be able to continue to call and do that during the dead period if they sign, but I don't think we're going to be able to allow to go out and see them. Because that would have made it, that would have been like the old days, where you just, every day you just go and it would have been like you see on 30 for 30, right? Marcus Dupree.
Park outside of the house.
Yeah, coach moved in for a month at a hotel. I mean, that's what it would have been like. So I think they're going to amend that, and so hopefully that will calm it down and keep it with the intent of what the legislation was.
So, but do you feel like the rule has kind of increased your ability to get in front of these
It's
kids?
increased our work. Yeah, I mean, because if you're not going to see so and so and so and so, every day, so and so and so and so are. So yeah, it's increased our work because kids are, some kids are signing multiple.
Coach, obviously before the season starts, you can have a pretty good idea of where you're going to be at, but there's some things that kind of sneak up on you. Where do you think this season, maybe could you pinpoint a place on the team that maybe surprised you that was better than you thought it was, and conversely, an area that you thought would be better?
Well, I think it's a great question. I mean, but clearly we didn't really have an idea of what our kicking game was going to be going into the season. I think obviously our punter and our field goal kicker, Matt had a little stretch there. Maybe you guys can help me out. Savannah, USF, and then really went on and made the rest of them, I think. So he did a great job. Obviously Pat did a great job, and they kicked off really well. So that's clearly an area that we were hoping. Really, Alan Hearns, I know you were asking for a position, but really Alan Hearns just continued to grow as a student athlete and as a leader, and had the type of year that I know he was hoping to have. So that was, great for him. And I mean, there's other areas, but in terms of the converse of that is that we're still, we're not where we want to be, and that's a work in progress. And it doesn't mean we don't honor the kids that have put the effort into this, thing and produce 9 wins and have a chance to win 10 for the first time in a decade, because we want to do that. But even those kids would tell you that they hope they had pushed the program forward so that we can take the next step, and really that's what we're trying to do. So there's a lot of areas that we have to continue to improve on.
Coach, how do you ask your team to balance its finals week and these practices? How do they balance that?
I'm not a conflict coach, I just never have been. I don't believe in it. It's really hard for them to, compartmentalize their life, to be quite honest with you. So I practiced last Saturday and Sunday, so there wouldn't be a conflict. I'm practicing tonight and tomorrow, so there wouldn't be a conflict. And I canceled Sunday so that they can practice, they could study Sunday and Monday, and then really finish strong. The only 2 times in the last 18 days, we've only practiced 4 times in the 18 days from Pitt until when we started Louisville on Tuesday. And the only two practices I couldn't avoid on exams were Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning. But the reality is at that time, you know, we're probably only dealing with 30 or 40 kids that have an exam left. So it's not as great a conflict as it would have been, you know, say this morning or yesterday. So we just, and it's the same way down there. You know, when we get to the bowl site, I really believe in be where you are, you know, and you know, if you're going to Universal, enjoy it. You know, you don't need to be thinking about the missed tackle you had in practice. You know, when you're, be where you are, and when it's time to have fun, have fun. When it's time to be in a meeting, you know, sit up straight, take notes, get locked in. When it's time to go practice, let's go practice. And I think that's the best mentality and the best approach to our team. And hopefully our kids have learned it. They certainly have displayed that here during this stretch, because I've seen teams that are train wrecks during this time because the coaches go on the road and it's not the regimen that it normally is. But this team has been very mature. We're getting great leadership. So hopefully we continue to finish well academically.
Do you expect Justin Renfro to be able to play in the bowl?
In the bowl game? Yeah.
Okay.
Why, what's up?
Some of the cast. So I didn't know if you
Oh, really?
dealing with something. Hope that's not news to you.
Oh my God. You know, if it is, I hope it's just preventative, but I'm not getting any indication that he's not going to play.
And Chick with his toe, Al, any updated Chickalo?
Yeah, again, I think he's going to give it a go tonight, so we'll see how he is when we get out there.
Alex Figueroa, do you think he's?
I don't think he's going to make it. I just think it would be prudent for us just to really just be careful with that. That was a pre-existing injury before he got to the University of Miami, and Doc didn't, you know, Doc just wanted to settle it down, so I don't think he's going to make it.
I know you don't want to get into specifics, obviously, as you said, about the 9 scholarships, but just one general question. Would you hope to take at least some of them this coming year? Can
Yes.
you say that?
Yeah. I'm going to try to do it over 3. You know, to be honest with you, I'm going to try to do it over 3 and space it out.
You know,
Any more questions for Coach Golden?
once-
I apologize for the voice. Just talk about the opportunity to the bowl game and the extra practices as you move forward.
Yeah. Well, just, you know, just that we're excited. You know, the kids practiced with a lot of spirit last week. We had a chance to really push some young guys along. We'll do that again here tonight. But we do want to make sure that the veterans don't get too rusty and we're throwing and catching and changing direction and doing all those things. But the bowl practices are huge, and especially when you get an opponent like we have in Louisville, who garners a lot of respect and obviously is playing good football. So it's going to give us an opportunity to get focused here, and it's going to be a great challenge. And our guys are going to have urgency because of it. And again, it's an opportunity to get, you know, about 15 practices in. And as I said, once we get through tomorrow, then we'll, you know, we'll get into kind of, I don't want to say game week mode, but we'll get into our Louisville preparation Tuesday through Friday before giving them a little break and then convening at the bowl site. So for a question that you guys may have, we're probably going to convene at the bowl site on the 22nd. Our first practice would be the 23rd. And then we're very fortunate that we're playing on a Saturday because it's just a normal game week then at that moment. So again, practice Tuesday through Friday this coming week. You know, off Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday, and then start Monday the 23rd and game week.
That practice on the 23rd, do you know if it might be in the morning or afternoon?
I don't even know if it will be open, man. I don't even know what we have to talk to the bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if it has to be open, but I do know we have to make players and coaches available
Okay.
at least
So-
Monday, Tuesday, post
All right. So the draft that I have. So are you talking about in terms of you traveling? All right. So the draft that I have right now, we're working through it, is going to be kind of a 3 o'clock ending, a 2 o'clock ending, somewhere in that area. As people roll their eyes next to you. All right, guys. I'll see you out there.